Hey, let's get into our Week 8 power rankings. And if you're seeing this after the Thursday night game, it doesn't matter. Steelers, Titans do not factor into my top 10, that's for sure. Hey, before I get into my top 10, I wanted to talk about this narrative that the Rams season is over, and I'm going to provide some pushback on that. Going to get a lot of disagreement, but here we go. The Rams the last couple of weeks have not looked good, come up empty in a lot of facets of the game. But prior to that, they were humming along pretty good considering what their schedule has looked like. And by the way, they have 5 losses. Those 5 losses against teams with a combined 25-12 record. It's been a tough haul. I mean, they've lost to the Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers. You know, those are 3 of the better teams in the league right now. And so the Steelers are they have a winning record. I think they're not as good as their record, but still, and they've also lost to the Bengals, a team that was not playing good at the time, but they're looking pretty good now. So, and the other thing I wanted to mention is who is going to be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs? And Cynthia Freeland had her, she does that data crunch where she projects records. And right now she has the Rams as the 8th seed, 1 spot out of the playoffs. And when I say, is the Rams season over, I'm just talking about them getting to the playoffs or not winning the Super Bowl. I still think they can get there. They just need a win this week against the Packers very badly. Because let's look at the playoff picture here in the NFC. We got 6 teams that are probably in, right? We can count the Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, Seahawks, and the Lions, and an unnamed team from the NFC South. Not sure who it's going to be. Let's say it's the Falcons. And we got 6 teams that are pretty much done, right? And we have 6 teams that are out, right? The Cardinals, Commanders, Giants, Packers, Bears, and Panthers. So we have 12. So that leaves 4 teams vying for that last wild card spot. And who are they? Well, the Vikings are 4-4. I'm including them, but their season could be over due to their quarterback situation. But let's not count them out quite yet. I think they probably don't have a great shot, though. Then we have the 2 teams and then we have the 2 teams from the NFC South that do not win the division. Let's say the Falcons win the division, then you have the Bucks and the Saints. Rams play the Saints, by the way. And then you have the Rams. And the Rams are getting into their more winnable games that stretch the schedule, whether they could put together a couple little winning streaks, perhaps. The point I'm making is not that the Rams are going to make the playoffs. The point I'm making is you can hardly count the Rams out given the situation in the NFC. That 7th spot is up for grabs between the Rams, Vikings, and the also Rams in the NFC South. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, let's get into our power rankings. I have 1 new team in and 1 team out. Out are the Cleveland Browns, losing to the Seattle Seahawks now. They get their quarterback situation straightened out. Maybe we'll see them bounce back in because they've got a great and excellent defense. My new number 10 team, the Cincinnati Bengals, starting to hit stride, took care of the 49ers in Santa Clara to improve to 4-3. I think they're playoff bound, to be honest with you. My number 8 team, the Dallas Cowboys, looked really good against the Rams. I think they're still an up and down team. Can they win on the road against good teams? You know, back when the AT&T Stadium first opened, as I recall, they really struggled there. But now, what do they won? 11 straight there? So if they get some home games in the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous. If they have to go on the road, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in their chances. My number 8 team, the Buffalo Bills, 4-3. And that is a team that kind of like the Cowboys, you know, they just disappoint you, surprisingly disappoint you out of the blue. But they're a really good team, great roster. It's just a matter of Josh Allen not blowing things up for them. If he plays at a high level and doesn't make any bonehead mistakes, they're going to be just fine. My number 7 team dropping to number 7, the San Francisco 49ers. And losers of 3 straight. Man, remember where we were at with this team a few weeks ago? Not there anymore. A lot of it's due to injuries, but still surprised they couldn't overcome that. And their defense is healthy. Their defense has given up a lot of yards and points. My number 6 team, the Kansas City Chiefs. They keep on winning. Well, they lost to the Broncos, but still, I'm just not sure what to make of them. I think in the end, they're going to figure it out. But right now, they do not look like one of the top Super Bowl contenders, to be quite honest. My number 5 team, the Detroit Lions. I'm not completely all in on the Lions yet, but I like what they're doing. They're just solid they're solid on both sides of the ball. Starting to love their coach. Jared Goff's playing at a high level. And Jahmyr Gibbs, wow, he finally starting to look like, we're starting to understand now why they drafted him so high. And he makes that team even more dangerous. And no David Montgomery, but I think they need both those guys. And if they have both those guys, really tough team to beat. My number 4 team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've just been slowly climbing these rankings, and deservedly so. They're going to host the 49ers. Both teams have a bye, and then they meet in Jacksonville. That'll be a fun game. Be a really big game. Really big game for the 49ers. If they lose that one, wow. There's going to be those 49er fans, man, they want a Super Bowl title. Anything short of that is a failure, and I have a feeling they're going to be disappointed. My number 3 team, the Baltimore Ravens. You know, they've had a couple of blips over the course of this season, but overall, playing really good football. They gave that one away to the Steelers, but they're clearly one of the top 4 or 5 teams. I have them at number 3. And my number 2 team, the Miami Dolphins. And what are you going to say about the Dolphins? That Jalen Ramsey is now active and contributing. This team, their offense is undeniably probably the best in the league right now. And hey, I think, be honest with you, I think they're headed to the Super Bowl. And they're only my number 2 team, though. My number 1 team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are, kind of like the Chiefs. You feel like they're not quite where they need to be, not producing the way you'd expect them to. But they did beat the Dolphins, and you got to give them credit for that. And that's why they're my number 1 team. Those are my top 2 teams, without a doubt, the Eagles and Dolphins. I feel pretty good about this top 5 right now. Eagles, Dolphins, Ravens, Jags, Lions, and the Chiefs. Probably the Chiefs I'd include in that group too, the top 6. The other ones, 49ers, Bills, Cowboys, Bengals, all still have a little proving to do. I think the Bengals will be on the rise. And these other 3, 49ers, Bills, Cowboys, we'll have to see. 2 gigantic games this week actually. Eagles and the Cowboys, and the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Wow. This is going to sort out our top 5 or 6 really well, I think. So that's my top 10 power rankings running into week 8. Hope you enjoyed it.